this arrest is such a secrecy. So I understand that the information that Roy just shared with you that listed on the letter is actually indirectly promoting Miles School. Okay, so this is probably, I think, why Xi Jinping and the CCP approached this arrest in secret, because they don't want accidentally promoting Miles School, giving those CCP members right now under high pressure cook within the CCP party a place, an alternative to vet, okay, their grievance and vent their resentment. Do you agree?
I do agree. I mean, I think it's. I think that also is ironic. Look, Miles is the reason Miles is in prison is because the CCP worked at the corrupt Justice Department, a corrupt federal court system, to make sure that he got into prison. I mean, the trial was a joke. If you read the transcripts of the trial, it was a complete joke, and the government's really witness tampering and really giving essentially written dialogue to these witnesses to testify was a complete joke. Look. The regime cannot bear the witness of Chinese, of Lao Beijing and or people that know the regime talking about what they've done to basically rape and pillage the economy around the Chinese people, and particularly how they've hoarded their wealth. That's what Miles's stock and trade was. That's how Miles became such a major figure in the West. This is why the Voice of America that now we're cleaning out, the Voice of America shut down. The only live interview they've ever shut down was with Miles. And why? It was talking about HSA. And Miles Guo was telling about how it was $1 trillion scam, basically created by the Chinese Communist Party to money launder with American banks. 100% of the stuff he said was true. Later, that was all proven out, right? As they came after to sue him, he countersued, and they all dropped their suits and ran away and then admitted wrongdoing. Yeah. So, no, he's always been incredibly powerful because he knows the details of how the regime runs. And so it's always been a high priority to make sure they shut him down. And what the last thing they want is a younger generation of people that would actually look to Miles for leadership, and particularly for knowledge and information. When you say paranoia, Ava, it's interesting to use that term, because paranoia would be if they were worried and overly concerned about that stuff that was false, that they were paranoid about it could be misinterpreted. I think this is different. I think this is actually fear, and it's justified fear, because they understand what they've done. They understand what they've done to the Chinese people. They understand what they've done to Lao Beijing, how they've raped the economy. I mean, we had this previous week, some of the people from Epoch Times have following going on with our people that covered the Vatican about the Vatican secret deal, but particularly about the live organ harvesting. And it was one of the biggest shows we've had. The response was unbelievable. Although people have talked about live organ harvesting for years, it just reinforced to people how terrible, how awful, how brutal this dictatorship is. And how they really, the people that they take it out of, the brutality on the worst are the Chinese people. And so, no, I'm not so sure he's paranoid. I think he actually is justified in his fear, because he understands if all this was to come out, the regime would be overthrown in 100 days. So he's not paranoid about something that people would misinterpret or would get wrong. And I'm nervous because, they're going to have false information and accuse me. He's worried because they're going to get real information from the whistleblower movement, from Miles Guo, from New Federal State of China, and others that are in this kind of broader coalition to free the Lao Beijing. And they understand that if this information is fully out there and Lao Beijing was empowered, the regime itself would probably last for 100 days.